Hello, everybody. We are looking at 3+1 very special reversos today. As you know, jaeger-lecoultre has a tradition, at least since 1991, to celebrate significant anniversaries of the reverso design, especially with very special and limited editions that usually integrate a complication or at least something very special into that rectangular swiveling iconic case design. We're going to start from a little uh, late and work our way backward in a certain sense, starting with the Reverso 70, which is the 70th anniversary edition. It follows largely in the tradition of the big six, those six complicated reversos introduced in quick succession during that decade, which spanned 1990 to 2000, as an incredible project of reviving JLC and this iconic design from their ashes by Günther Blümlein and Ari John Belmont. The 70th anniversary design, the 70e, is in many ways the precursor also of the Grand Date, which was in production between 2002 and 2012, which happens to be one of my favorite reversos of all time and which I very proudly own. This particular piece was such an important and complicated caliber that it actually took jaeger-lecoultre an extra year to introduce it. So instead of the 2001, which is the proper 70th anniversary of the Reverso design, this piece actually came in 2002. It is a hand-wound caliber with dual spring barrels that power the watch up to 8 days and more. 8 days at chronometric accuracy, I should say, and up to perhaps 10 days at full crank. Differently from the grand dates, the septantième, the 70th anniversary proper, actually has a day and night indicator that you can see right there between 1 and 2 o'clock. Barring the aesthetic differences, it also has the off center. It also has the asymmetric dial layout with the off center seconds, the power reserve indicator at 11 o'clock, and the 2 digit grand date display at 7 o'clock. Continuing again that tradition of the big six, the piece is rendered in 18 karat pink gold. This particular model, unlike the big six, which were all in the which were all presented in the Grand Thai cases. 42 by 26. The Septantième actually introduces the extra Grand Thai case, which is 29 by 46.5. And this particular piece actually has caliber that is fashioned in its entirety out of 18 karat pink gold, which is, of course, not the case with the stainless steel Reverso Grand Date. This creates a beautiful and very elegant look on the exhibition case back as well. The signatures, other inscriptions, and branding is actually enameled in blue. Another wonderful detail. Beautiful decoration with deep multi-dimensional Geneva stripes, heat blued screws, the anglage, the perlage you can see on the base plate, the mirror polish and the countersinks, which accommodate the rubies. It's truly, truly beautiful. That's the caliber 879. Of course, the piece comes with a single folding déployant clasp in matching 18 karat pink gold. You can see the specific case number inscribed on the back, just like the Big Six from the 90s. This is one of 500. They also made the Reverso Septantième in 500 examples in platinum as well. Here's that beautiful decoration of the inside of the carriage with more enlarged circular graining, all the hallmarks, of course, certifying that this is indeed 18 karat gold, and the full presentation box and accompanying accessories, which include a quaint magnifier instead of a loop and a set of glows for this exquisite piece. Very beautiful watch. This is the jaeger-lecoultre Reverso Septantième, one of only 500s in 18 karat pink gold, inside and out. A beautiful piece that celebrates the 70th anniversary of the iconic design, listed by a Japanese professional dealer on Chrono24 at the fixed price of $26,655. We go back to year 1999 2000 for the sixth of the Big Six. This was the last and perhaps the most important complication presented in that series by jaeger-lecoultre, the Reverso perpetual calendar, quantième perpétuel, with the classic look on the primary dial, with the addition of a leap year indicator as well as a day and night indicator at 2 o'clock, leap year indicator at 6 o'clock, right under the oversized subsidiary dial for the seconds. Of course, you have all these beautiful heat blued stainless steel hands sitting against the backdrop of a silvered guilloche decorated dial. And on the flip side, you have the rest of the calendrical indicators on a guilloche decorated dial with the wave motif. In the lower half, you have the month and the day of the week. In the upper half, you have in the form of two fan-like scales sitting on top of each other, which show the date and the moon phase which also has an opening for the visual representation as well. Very elegant watch that for the first time introduced this prestige complication into the rectangular case of the Reverso. The piece is presented on a leather strap and a matching 18 karat pink gold déployant clasp, one of 500, even though the number is obscured here. And the piece comes with its papers as well as a service invoice, what it looks like. Now, I don't want to speculate, but I have a feeling that this is not the original presentation box, but I might be wrong. I think these those six special models all had very exquisitely presented wooden boxes. I might be wrong. Maybe by year 2000 they had phased out of those, but I will show you what I mean in the next one. This is the jaeger-lecoultre Reverso Quinzième Perpétuel, the perpetual calendar in the iconic rectangular case with its box and papers. This piece is listed by a professional dealer out of the United States for $33,775 in US dollars, but they remain open to negotiation, so feel free to suggest a price. The third piece was one of the early models to be introduced as part of that glorious decade. In 1993, right after the 60th anniversary edition, jaeger-lecoultre introduced for the first time a tourbillon in the Reverso case. The watch looks every bit of the classic time-only dress watch from the front. You have the applied JL logo in pink gold, matching the pink gold case. Silver dial, vertically grain brushed for the hour track, and decorated, cut by hand with a rose lathe in the middle in the shape of a rectangle that replicates the shape of the case. There's also a subsidiary small seconds dial that is decorated with a soleil pattern. You have the signature jaeger-lecoultre on a plaque, and on a separate plaque that wraps itself around the subsidiary dial for seconds, you have the phrase tourbillon, which invite you to flip the watch back, and there you have the hand-wound tourbillon caliber, which is beautifully designed and artfully decorated with its separate power reserve indicator that you can see through the exhibition case back. It has its own guilloche decoration. The plates of the caliber otherwise are gently executed with Geneva stripes. This was 14 karat pink gold, by the way. So you still have a matching case with the matching caliber, even though the case is 18 carats and the movement 14. Very aesthetically pleasing design, front and back. Very austere in the front and absolutely classical and quite impressive, both aesthetically and horologically from the back as well. The piece is matched with a déployant clasp in 18 karat pink gold. And as you can see, the Reverso tourbillon is presented on this beautiful wooden box with its original set of documents, one of only 500 pieces. The piece has seen a recent service in 2022, in October of 2022, and listed here at Chrono 24 by a professional dealer out of Italy with a fixed price of $45,269. Now we reached the bonus round and we are looking at another tourbillon. This is a limited edition introduced in 2003, one of 500 pieces once again. And once again, as jaeger-lecoultre does with most of their Reverso tourbillons, at least in this neo-vintage era, you have a very austere, simple dial produced out of an 18 karat white gold blank, rhodium plated with stylized Art Deco numerals and an applied JL logo at 12 o'clock, heat blued stainless steel sword hands complemented by a power reserve indicator and a slightly oversized subsidiary dial for seconds at 6 o'clock, which has the signature of the brand and the inscription for the tourbillon. On the case back, you have the hand wound caliber 848, which incidentally is a version, a 10th anniversary edition, you might say, of the 828 we have just seen. It is designed, it is laid out in the manner of some of the earliest tourbillons manufactured by JLC for chronometric competitions, and the movement itself is entirely fashioned out of 18 karat white gold, which is quite impressive and an aesthetic delight in terms of its interplay with the platinum case. This piece has an incredible amount of handwork with all the inscriptions on the bridge plate filled in by hand in blue ink. The decorations, of course, largely hand finished with a dominant sun ray kind of finish, which seems to emanate from the regulating mechanism, the tourbillon itself. And as with other Reverso tourbillons, there is this quirky but extremely elegant touch of accommodation at around 6 o'clock, where the hand carved godrons are ever so slightly interrupted and wrapped around the tourbillon cage, which is a beautiful touch and only serves to accentuate the regulating mechanism, the tourbillon. as the focal point of the watch once you flip around the case. As you can see, the piece actually comes with a matching jaeger-lecoultre déployant clasp in platinum. The piece is one of 500. Quite austere and simplistic. On the recto side, on the verso side, it is all business and with a caliber that impresses aesthetically, both in terms of its design and its largely hand finished decoration, and of course, horologically, with its impressive heritage of defying gravity and achieving chronometric precision. This is the jaeger-lecoultre Platinum number 2, a limited run of 500 pieces released in 2003, listed here at Chrono 24 by a professional dealer out of Japan, right under 50K. It is specifically 49,683 in US dollars. That is a fixed price. I think this has to be my pick of the litter. I know we are flying high in these 2 recent episodes. These are all very pricey, very spendy, very expensive watches. But I think all 7 of them, 3 by Cartier, 4 by JLC, are absolutely worth it. If you love the designs, if you admire the horology behind them, I think they can be great heirloom pieces. My pick of the litter is the Platinum number 2 in this particular case. If you have any questions about any of these 4 listings, any watch related questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me here on Patreon. You can always find me on Instagram as well at young.brando. And of course, feel free to write an email to me at lordhellespont5 at gmail.com. That is lordhellespont v@gmail.com. I'm always at your service, so feel free to reach out to me. I look forward to seeing you on the next live stream. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any recommendations for future topics for me to explore, either on a live stream or in one of these exclusive episodes, please feel free again to suggest. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, I bid you adieu.